The term Iron Curtain is used to describe the division of Europe during the Cold War. Both a physical and ideological idea, it divided Eastern communist countries from democratic countries in the West. Winston Churchill, previous Prime Minister of Britain at the time, gave his Iron Curtain speech at Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri. As defined, the term Iron Curtain means a national barrier that prevents the passage of information or ideas between political entities in particular.
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. Behind that line lie all the capitals of the ancient states of Central and Eastern Europe: Warsaw, Berlin, Prague, Vienna, Budapest, Belgrade, Bucharest, and Sofia. All these famous cities and the populations around them lie in what I must call the Soviet sphere, and all are subject, in one form or another, not only to Soviet influence, but to a very high and in some cases increasing measure of control from Moscow.
This division of Europe marks the beginning of the Cold War to many people. Although the Iron Curtain was mainly a metaphor to describe the political barrier between the continent, there were physical walls designed that were covered in barbed wire and shards of glass so those inside would not escape. The main purpose of developing the Iron Curtain was to keep communist ideas secluded from the world and to not allow other influences in.
The Iron Curtain Museum has opened in a former communist police border control building on the Czech-German border. The museum documents the Cold War, and exhibits include more than 800 photographs. The exhibition starts with World War I, which was the catalyst for many of the events of World War II. Soviet forces were involved in 70% of the fighting, and following the Soviet victory, communism was introduced across all Soviet territories. Czechoslovakia became socialist. In fact, it was the outcome of World War II that led to the construction of the Iron Curtain across Europe. Russian tanks rolled into Prague in August 1968. You needed a valid passport, visas and valid exit visas, which was the main problem, confirmation that you would return, an army ID for men, bank statements about the permitted sale of currency, and valid and stamped currency and duty declarations. You couldn't leave the country without these papers. Young people today absolutely cannot imagine this. The exhibition also deals with other walls and barriers around the world.
The eastern countries included East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, and for a certain amount of years, Albania. Countries in the West were not part of this area because of their disagreement to the communist ways of living. They wanted to know what was going on behind the barriers because they knew those in the East were undergoing the harsh tactics of communist rule. In some cases, families were split up and not allowed to reunite. The Berlin Wall that once divided Germany was a key symbol to the Iron Curtain during the years of the Cold War. The wall was only taken down in November of 1989. It is said that many people actually died while trying to flee communist territory. Eventually, due to economic problems and fighting, the Soviet Union declined. The Berlin Wall was taken down and political votes were allowed, resulting in the fall of communism and the Soviet Union altogether.